has the capabilities, and like Ananya mentioned the last time, that Ramesh also believes that she could be one of the all-rounder that the India is looking at, or the frontline bowler that the India is looking at. And that's clearly what is there in their mind. They're definitely planning to groom her, and that you need to have, I mean, after Julian, who's going to carry it forward for you. And clearly, India has a plan in terms of nurturing a fast bowler, and we are in need of fast bowlers right now. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Aru getting a game, because Aru for me is a plus on the field. Also, the kind of effort that she chasing the ball down, she's brilliant on the field. You would any day want to have Aru 360-degree placed also on the field. So for me, she's a plus. It's just that she'll learn the more you keep her, or the more you give her ball, she's going to learn and only learn. And that's how we made players, not by benching them, but by putting them on the ground. And that's exactly what the management is doing right now.
And it is indeed excellent that India have continued to back Arundhati Reddy, not just because she's not gone through a good patch, but also because she's young and you are giving her a chance, Ananya. And that means that there's only one streamer in Simran Dil Bahadur who probably will return without a game. So your thoughts on this scenario?
Well, again, I mean, it is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, this is international cricket. You're not going to hand out caps just for the sake of it. You want, your best 11 on the ground. And if India believes that this is their best T20I 11, then so be it. I think, just because she's come on tour, if you think that you should play her, just for the exposure, I don't think it works that way. I understand, wanting players to learn and giving them an extended rope, that makes a lot of sense. But, just for a game to bring them in and say, hey, you contributed on this tour is a bit much. And, I think sometimes just being around the group, she is very young. She came in, in that South Africa series at home. I'm sure she's just learned a lot being around the group. Jhulan Goswami is still there. So there are a lot of people who she can talk to, learn from, even watching them go about their business. There is a lot you can learn on the bench. Of course, you learn a lot faster on the field, but there are plenty of lessons to take sitting on the bench, and this is international cricket. So, it's not a charity where people are going to hand out caps for the sake of it.
Yeah, indeed. And it's also excellent to see that bowlers are backed up, because in the past we've seen one or two bad games here and there and players are replaced. So in that sense, it's a continuity factor. But let's get to the batting department, something that sparks conversation, something that sparks debates as well. Vanitha, that number 3, number 4, number 5 spot. Your first thoughts on who should bat where? It's a plain question. You can kind of go ahead at it.
See, the way how Harman walked in the last match, it's very clear that the management, I think, if given a good start, they would want Harman to go there, because that allows her to go and play the shots instead of like usually she's very scratchy. I mean, we've been seeing that she takes her time in the initially few balls. She's taking some time to settle down. But if there is early wicket, I'm sure Harleen is going to walk in, as we saw in the first game. And if the team is, I think, 50 plus, I think Harman is going to walk in. I think that's a clear indication of Harman walking in at number 3, and that's what we want to see. I mean, if Indian batting unit has to develop and grow stronger, strength by strength, I think we would want to see more scenarios like this where Harman is walking in at number 3, and then we have players to finish off. That's when somebody like a Sneha Rana and Richa Ghosh comes in handy for us. If we get a good start, and that's exactly what the Indian team will be planning to go about today. Probably allow Shefali to just go about, and then probably Smriti will revolve around her for a while, and then Smriti will probably take over if Harman comes in, and that's exactly what they're planning to do. And we saw Smriti herself coming out and telling that one of us has to bat till 16th over, and that's what I've been telling right from the beginning, that either of these guys has to bat there for at least 16 or 18 over. That's how you can take the team to a decent total. And if that has to happen, a lot of it depends on the start that we're getting, and that's clearly what our openers will be going for it today. If they get a solid start, that's when somebody like an Harman can come and play that cameo that she did the other day, and then followed by Sneha Rana and Richa Ghosh, and others. So if we want to see more firepowers, in our batting, I think we need to have a solid start today, and that's how we can go about in terms of piling up that mammoth 140, 150 that we're talking about.
Indeed. And Ananya, Vanitha had taken all the batters' name in Sneh Rana, Harleen Deol, Harmanpreet Kaur, but where should Deepti Sharma come in? Because that's one position, or that's one player who's kind of sparked a lot of debates with her batting, especially, and we've seen in our Hindi show as well with Yash Lahoti weighing in with his thoughts. So, what do you think is an ideal position for Deepti Sharma, or is it the position, or is it the scenario that she should walk in with the bat?
Look, I think it's the situation. I mean, we've seen in men's cricket, women's cricket, everyone talks about, you have to be flexible with the number you bat. More often than not, it's not the number that counts, it's the situation of the game. So for me, look, Deepti Sharma, if India have gotten off to a good start, if they're going well with the rate, I'm not convinced that she should, I wasn't convinced that she should have walked in at number 4 last time. I mean, when you have the likes of Richa Ghosh, Sneh Rana, who have the ability to accelerate, who bat quickly, to score quickly, I think, you should be able to utilize that part of their game. You shouldn't, be giving them 5 or 6 balls to come in and score 10 runs. I mean, it's not fair to expect batters to come in and tonk their first ball for 6. It may happen like 1 in 4 times, but it's not fair that you expect that all the time. So I think, for me, Deepti Sharma in this T20I team probably shouldn't be playing as an all-rounder, simply because she, over the last year and a half, she just hasn't shown that ability to score quickly. She may have it. She has shown it in domestic cricket, but it's a case of over the last months, you haven't seen that from her. So I think she can slide down the order. And if we are in a situation where India needs, maybe someone to bat through the innings, if it's a slightly tricky surface, then you can push her up the order because she's technically solid. You need someone to hold one end up. I get that. But on tracks where you're, aiming to get 160, 170, I don't think Deepti Sharma should bat in that top 5 or 6 at all.
And where do you lie about Harmanpreet Kaur? Should she, irrespective of where India are placed, walk in at 3, or as Vanitha said, Harleen and Harman should kind of walk in based on the situation?
Oh, I'm in agreement with what she said. I think if India get off to a good start, you send her in. You don't want to expose her too early. Like if we lose a wicket in the first over, you wouldn't want her walking in to face a charge up Brunt. So yeah, depending on the start that India get, she should alternate between 3 or 4.
Let's talk about finisher's role, which Sneh Rana seems to be a front runner, looking at how she did in that third ODI as well. Vanitha, has she kind of nailed that spot? Is it safe to assume at this point that 5, 6 or that last 4, 5 overs, she is the person that should walk out with the bat?
Definitely, for me, she'll be that number 5, number 6 batter, depending on the situation again. See, look, if you want to talk about Richa Ghosh and Sneh Rana, both of them are in par in terms of the kind of matches that they play, number of matches. Their international exposure is also as much as same as Richa Ghosh and Sneh Rana. But the only difference is that Sneh Rana is 27 and she's coming back. She's coming after a long layoff and she's mature enough to understand the situation. So probably Sneh Rana would be a better bet in terms of sending. If there is like 4 or 5 overs, I would prefer sending Rana, simply because Rana is quite experienced and Richa still needs the time to just settle and to revolve around, to go about that 4 overs, because this is how it is going to be when you're batting at number 5, number 6. You'll hardly get 10-15 balls for you to go about. And I'm sure with every game, Richa Ghosh will come, get into confidence. And we saw that the last match, how she went for the taunt, that for a 6, and that was brilliant, and it was effortless. Somebody like Richa Ghosh coming and doing at that point, and the innings is fabulous. And that's how we wanted to grow through this, the phases that we see in the game. And for me, I think Rana should bat slightly higher. Like I said, it all depends on the face of the innings, the pace of the innings. If the going is good, definitely I would want Rana walking in at 5. But if India is in a position to probably consolidate or build up on the innings, then I don't mind Deepti Sharma walking in at number 4, because that adds to a lot of stability, because you want somebody to revolve around.
And in a 4 overs to go, India are say 100, 110. Who would you rather send, a Sneh Rana or Richa Ghosh? Assuming, of course, both are in the dugout here.
I think Rana. I think Sneh Rana. I mean, everything that Vanitha said, I'm in agreement with. you have someone who knows her game very, very well, who understands her scoring areas. So, you'd rather the smarter player both have equal amounts of power. I mean, Richa, when she hits the ball, it looks more effortless, but I think both have the ability to clear the boundary. So in such a situation, I'd pick the smarter player over the younger or the more talented one.
We also talked a lot about Sophia Dunkley's utility as a lower order or middle order player, Ananya, for England. Throughout this series, she's shown what she's made of in that Test match as well as the ODI. Given that she couldn't kind of do what was expected in the last match, especially given the fact that the match was almost in England's pockets before it was snatched away, do you think there's an additional pressure on her because she's continuing to keep Fran Wilson out of that 11? So is there an additional pressure, you think, on her?
I don't think so. I mean, she's done very well in the limited opportunities she's got. I think her dismissal in the previous T20I look, it was just an ill-advised run. I don't think it was. It's a one-off. It happens to everyone. It's probably a brain fade, and it's absolutely fine. I don't think it puts pressure on her place in the side. She's done enough to show that she belongs at this level, and she's a very, very good player. I mean, I think most people would have backed her to finish off that game. Just having seen her, bat in pressure situations, she's shown great temperament. So yeah, I'm not convinced that she's under any pressure at all.
Well, then third T20 minutes away from getting underway. It's the final match of this India Tour of England 2021. It's at the county ground in Chelmsford. Not the best of matches the last time that England played there. But remember, India have played one match there and they haven't won it. So it's almost that both teams will be looking to win and get back to winning ways at this venue. But let's move on to getting Guruma Vanitha into play now. She's got every kind of prediction, right? Be it a score prediction or a result prediction. So, Vanitha, where do you stand as far as this first innings is concerned? We'll then afterwards catch you after the game. So, where do you see this first innings go with India batting first?
I'm looking at somewhere around 130 plus today from our team. Let's see. I don't know. It's purely going by my gut and instinct. That I'm saying 130 plus today. I'm taking a chance. No cricket brains behind it. It's just a number, random number.
So the thing is, 130 plus is very, like, even if they get 150, that's 130 plus. So
okay. Somewhere. Okay, I'll stick to 130s. So it has only 10 numbers, right? So I'll stick to 130s.
Right. Last time, remember, for those you watching, 140 was her prediction. That's what England ended up scoring. But as Indians, nobody was complaining because India had more than that. So 130 says Vanitha. What's the battle you are looking forward to, Vanitha? Bowler versus batter?
Look, if it's a flat track, I'm looking at Eccleston coming into play. Let me put this today, Eccleston versus Harman, hoping that Harman will come out and get another big one today. I'm hoping that she'll get a biggie. So Eccleston versus Harman today. Let's see how the competition is.
Ananya?
I'm going to go with Freya Davies versus India's 3 and 4. So Harman, and hopefully it's Richa Ghosh or Snehrana. Not sure. Whoever walks in 3-4, I think. Freya Davies has been very impressive so far. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Right, there you go. 130 should be the score that Vanitha, the Guruma on this show, thinks. And it's some interesting battles picked as well. So let's see where this first innings goes. We'll catch this conversation after the first half on this very show, the Outside View Live. See you then.